Back on the SportsMax Zone, India will take a relaxed mindset into Wednesday's third and final one-day international against the West Indies at Queen's Park Oval in TNT, having already sewn up the series. On Sunday, the tourists scored a thrilling 2-wicket win in the second match. Shai Hope struck 115, his 13th ODI 100, as the Windies made 311 for 6 of their 50 overs. Skipper Nicholas Pooran delighted his home crowd with 74 of 77 balls, including 6 massive sixes. There were also runs for opener Kyle Mayers and fellow Barbadian Shamar Brooks. Shadul Thakur was a pick of the Indian bowlers with 3 for 54. The Indians then made 312 for 8, with Akshar Patel stroking an unbeaten 64 and Shreyas Iyer adding 63. Pacers Alzar Joseph and Kyle Mayers took 2 wickets each. Brandon Corlette, the Guyanese journalist, now joins us to assess what happened in Sunday's fixture. A brave effort by the West Indies men, improved batting from what you saw firsthand in Guyana, Brandon, but again a losing effort by them.
Yes, again, we lack the killer instinct. West Indies to close out the match, having, came so close. I think better pitches in Trinidad and Tobago, so you must expect better results. I must say, batting 50 overs in 2 matches, that's a good sign for West Indies.
And the fact that the total proved to be challenging for the Indians, a lot of criticism is being placed on the West Indies bowling and out cricket, almost as if to suggest that they should have been able to defend that total. Do you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's the killer instinct that we're lacking. The dead bowling aspect, again, it's a worry for the West Indies. We see Kyle Mayers bowling the final over. And, of course, the West Indies are missing Kemo Paul. So I think that's an area of improvement. Romario Shepherd, again, he's still a work in progress. Gudakesh Moti didn't play in this second one-day international because of an injury suffered from his right thumb. So I think it's an area of improvement in bowling. The batting has come, and we're all happy to see Shai Hope again in the runs.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Shai Hope, I think we should spend some time talking about the quality of that century, because Shai Hope also had struggled in the previous ODI.
Yeah, Shai Hope, we know 13th one-day international century in his 100 ODI match. I must say, Shai Hope is a very hard-working cricketer, but after the match, the second one international, he would have been disappointed because the century came in a losing cause. After scoring 13 one-day international centuries, right, Shai Hope scored 11 of those away. That's a good thing. And 2 one-day international centuries at home. However, West Indies won 6 times out of 13 when Shai Hope scored a century in one-day international cricket. So I think that's an area he must work on. Right, without doubt, he's arguably the most talented batsman right now in the West Indies, especially in the 50-over format. But in terms of the impact, that's an area he must improve on.
Do you feel as if he batted too slow during this to get this ODI century?
I mean, when you look at the West Indies batting lineup, Shai Hope is the ice among the fire. So I think that's his role, but he must have more impact on the game. He must score centuries, match-winning centuries, you call them.
Yeah, how much did the West Indies team miss Jason Holder in these ODIs, Brandon? Because he tested positive for COVID on the eve of the first match, and there is a feeling that his experience and the quality that he would have added to this team, both with the bat and the ball, could have made a bit of a difference for the West Indies. Is that a narrative you concur with?
Yeah, definitely. Experience is always something that the West Indies would want, especially in the one-day international format where most players are inexperienced. So I think Jason Holder, his all-round ability is definitely a big miss for the West Indies. I'm not sure if he will be available for the T20 series, but I think Jason Holder will be eager to get back into the West Indies team.
Yeah, and what about the injury with Moti? Do you expect him to return before the tour ends?
I think Gudakesh Moti might return for the T20 aspect of it. I don't think West Indies would want to risk Gudakesh Moti playing in the third one-day international because we know New Zealand should arrive in the Caribbean shortly.
Talk to us about the mindset going into the third ODI, though, Brandon, because the West Indies have already lost the series. They'll be trying to avoid the whitewash. And, even if they win on Wednesday, the general feeling would have been that the pressure is off and they would have already lost the series. Maybe the Indians would have relaxed and so on. But what would you like to see in this third ODI, even with team selection? Because with the series already lost, the selection panel may, have a view of getting a couple of other players in.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of getting new players, and I would like to see Kesey Karthi. He actually played a fine hand in the third one international at Providence against Bangladesh. And he would have shown that dig deep mentality that most of our batsmen are lacking. So in terms of changes, I think Kesey Karthi should get an opportunity, as well as Kimo Paul. I'm not sure if he's fit and ready to go. But the West Indies, the bowling group, they must come and perform collectively. We see Akil Hussain picking up a wicket in the second one international, but he's not been at his best. We know what he's capable of, especially in ODI cricket. So I think the bowling must click, and Akil Hussain, he must perform.
As we get ready for the third ODI, which will be on Wednesday, do you expect to see any major changes from the Windies team?
Yeah, in addition to Kimo Paul, if he's fit and ready, he should return to the team, as well as Kesey Karthi should get an opportunity. Rovman Powell has been struggling for consistency, right? I'm not sure if Brandon King will be given a rest. He's been playing a lot of cricket in the T20 format as well. So I'm not sure if King or Rovman Powell should rest for the final game, but I would like to see Kesey Karthi getting another opportunity.
One of the things that we assessed going into this series, Brandon, would have been that India are missing some of their key players. So this isn't the strongest India team. How much do you think India will take from this winning series against the West Indies, given the fact that several of their key players aren't playing?
It's always a good sign to see the youngsters stepping up. And these guys are not really youngsters. They have a lot of experience playing the Indian Premier League Ranji Trophy. When you look at Shubman Gill playing Test cricket already, and he recently got his maiden ODI 50. So I think it's a good sign for Indian cricket. It shows the depth, something that we are lacking in the West Indies. But it's really good to see Indian young players come into the fore.
Yeah, as you talk about that, Brandon, the point was made by the commentators yesterday as well when they got down into the death overs that even though a lot of the batsmen in the Indian setup were inexperienced, they have a lot of IPL experience, and there's a lot of pressure in IPL, chasing runs and being under pressure with the scoreboard pressure and so on. And it played out yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Shreyas Iyer, he's the captain of Kolkata Knight Riders,
yes. Previously
the Delhi Capitals, Sanju Samson with the Rajasthan Royals. So these guys know how to handle pressure, high-pressure situations, playing in the Indian Premier League with the highest quality of international players. So this sort of Akshar Patel actually did extremely well. And he is known as Ravindra Jadeja's understudy. And he played like a first choice player.
You know what? I hear people, talking about the struggles of this West Indies team. And, sometimes you listen to the criticisms and so on. You wonder if people are forgetting history or even the history of not too long ago, because there are some people who are behaving as if this West Indies team is so poor and, teams of the past would have been better. But it's been over a decade now that the West Indies has been struggling in ODI cricket. Remember, they won the first two World Cups, 1975 and 1979. They were beaten favourites in 1983, yes. But for a very, very long time, West Indies ODI cricket has been poor. And it's not just this current team.
Definitely. Again, it comes to grassroots cricket. Personally, I think the regional Super 50 tournament, that's not enough for the Caribbean players to play 50 over cricket. Most of these players are accustomed to playing T20 leagues. And you can see that clear in the shot selection of some of the players and the brain fade most of them would have in ODI cricket. It shows the lack of Super 50 cricket in the Caribbean.
All right, Brandon, we'll talk to you again pretty soon, I'm sure, as the West Indies going to the third ODI on Wednesday, trying to avoid the sweep. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Brandon Corlette there from Guyana. We go to break. Still a lot more to come on the SportsMax Zone. Back in a moment.